it was the days of midwives. So my mother was, of course, he was born at home. So I don't know where we were, somewhere with my grandmother probably. But I'm waiting for my dad to come home from work. And I'm watching and watching for him. And so he comes up the alley. And the alley was where we kept the horses. And when the horses were gone and we got the trucks were down there. So that's why he was coming up the alley. And so I opened the window, and I was 8 years old, so kind of a smart aleck probably. And I hollered out the window, "We got another girl." So he just smiled. So he got a surprise when he came home. He finally did grow up, though, as you all know. And from there on, it was all basketball. After he got graduated from Pitt, he went to Kent State and worked. But after that, he came back and worked with my father. One other thing I'd forgotten, when he was at Pitt, he was an extra on campus. They had probably a call for any extras, and he was in Angels in the outfield.
Greetings from Colorado. You know, Lou, even though you and I are first cousins, in many respects I've often felt like you're the big brother I never had. Perhaps my favorite memory is that of our very own cheers. You know, where everybody knows your name. Of course, we called it Chaconas back then, and Lou, everybody knew your name. And now it's the Yellow Dog, and everybody still knows your name. But those are some great times. And when it was Chaconas, remember, we almost caught the place on fire with those flaming chartreuses. Man, those were the days.
I can remember in the early years on the basketball courts and running Kraft concrete, the energy and dedication that you displayed. I could always count on you and Doris in spirit and financially to support any programs that I started at the Chamber, and I really appreciate that. I know you've always had Venango County's success as a high priority in your life.
I've had the pleasure of knowing Lou for well over 40 years. I was introduced to Lou by my father at that time, and when the meeting was over, Dad said, "There goes a man you can trust. His word is his bond." And, my association with Lou currently includes work that we do for the Grove Hill Cemetery Association. Lou is dependable. He's at all the meetings, of course, but the other nice thing is if there's any paving or construction work of any sort that has to be done up there, Lou is very attentive to it. He somehow manages to squeeze in his work up there during the very successful operation of his own business. And over the years, everyone on the board has always appreciated that. The other thing Lou is kind of on our unofficial historian. It seems that there are a number of personalities and characters that are residents of our land up there, and you can depend on Lou to be able to tell the story of perhaps this Civil War officer or another personality that played up a big role in the community over time.
There is nothing like sitting at a table with Lou Kraft and listening to him name all the businesses that have been here and remembering stories that probably aren't out there in the newspaper. To hear him tell them and remember what happened in the past and who he was with and who lived in this house and that house, it's just so enjoyable for me. I have learned more Oil City history from Lou than anybody I can think of.
He was always there when big things happen, and that has reminded me of the wonderful stories that he has told. And when you listen to those stories, you know that that engineering mind, you get into seeing the big picture, but always peppered with the detail. And he has taught me, and I think many others, that if you pay attention to the small things, the big things happen.
I came to know Lou Kraft through his leadership at the Salvation Army, where he has served on the advisory board for over 2 decades, serving on the property committee. He's been involved in building projects at the Corps, at the quarters, and most recently at the dental center. He sought to understand the unmet needs of the people of this county and advocated on behalf of those needs. He used his wisdom, his wit, and gently exerted his influence upon leaders with like-minded agendas to make the dental center a reality.
Lou is one of these people that doesn't need credit, doesn't look for credit, but many little things that get done around town are because Lou Kraft listened, heard, and took action.
Lou has been a rock for us, solid, committed, generous to this organization, beyond measure, truly, with both his time. He has helped us financially as far as events that we've held, always making sure that we have an opportunity to celebrate the successes that we have in our system and the successes of the people that we help.
One word I would use to describe Lou is commitment. He has been involved in workforce development, workforce investment in the Northwest PA region for, I would think, over 30 years. He was a big leader in the previous organization before the Workforce Investment Board was designed and implemented, and he's shown true, constant commitment.
On our board, you know, he's put in so many years of steadfast and responsible work for the region in workforce. I can only tell you that it shows so clearly in our meetings that he understands the region well, that he feels for the people, he understands the whole concept of trying to help people find work. Lou has a great heart.
He and I have been on the executive committee together for a little while, and I've looked towards Lou as a mentor for me.
Spent 25 years doing what he's been doing for the community is quite a testimony to Lou, because I found him to be very pragmatic, very business-oriented, very customer-focused. Those that are in need of funds or services or skills to be learned, Lou has always had their interest.
You know, when you think of Lou, there are times that even our different parties and different events that we've had where he is the life of the party, always has a story and something funny to say.
You're a real chip off the old block. Gregarious just like your dad, my uncle. Generous to a fault. You made your dad proud. And we're proud of you on this award. Chinky and I wish we could be there with you. We'll be there in spirit. We love you. God bless you.